You're bringing them in informed and educated before they've even stepped in the door. They have an idea of who you are before you even meet that first consultation. So yeah, it's working.
Get ready to level up your law firm's marketing. We hope you get a lot of value out of today's episode.
And if you do, we only ask you for one thing. Share with a friend. All right, let's get into it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. We are your hosts. I'm Smike.
I'm Eddie.
And this week, we really wanted to talk about social media and really things that you can use on social media and your strategy, the way you make content, and also things to really kind of not worry about, right? Because, I mean, Eddie, I know you see on social media all the time when
it's the Wild West.
It
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
It's the Wild West and it's the Gold Rush, like all mixed into one, right? Because people are land grabbing, basically, right? Yep. Let's start with our first point that we'd like to make here. Why law firms should have a social media diet.
Yeah. Social media diet. I mean, we'll talk about this, but it's so funny because, I mean, everyone interacts, most people interact or have some sort of presence on social media. So, like, the natural inclination is to do what you're liking and what you're seeing as a private individual, not necessarily as a law firm, which is completely different.
The thing about social media as a whole is that there's this mainstream kind of idea that if you're successful on social media, it means that you have a lot of likes, a lot of followers, a lot of comments.
Those numbers up.
Yeah, a lot of numbers, right? Just popping off. And that's really just not the case, like, all the way around. Don't get me wrong. There are certain industries where it kind of makes sense, right? Like, maybe like someone who's an artist.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, they post something on social media. They hope to get some sort of comments like, oh, like, I admire this piece of work for
I've seen
X.
your post, Mike.
I'm not saying it's me.
Yeah, right.
I'm not saying it's me. But the thing is, for the law firm industry, for the legal industry, you don't need likes, comments, shares in order to be successful.
And how likely is someone that's worked with an attorney in a confidential manner willing to go out and like it and comment and say, yeah, I mean, just imagine what kind of law you do. Yeah. I mean, depending on what practice area, and a lot of people don't want to be that made public.
There's definitely people who air out that kind of stuff, like, publicly, like, man, that's their thing, and, more power to them. But for the majority, I don't believe that they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, let's talk about my divorce in the Instagram comments.
Yeah, and the other, I mean, I tell clients this when we work with them. I think the biggest hurdles here is I say, what would you rather have, $100,000 or 100,000 likes? Because one doesn't translate to the other. And I think getting the people to see beyond the likes as to how social media can turn into dollars without the likes, without the engagement. I mean, you're probably not going to get them anyway, but it's still effective. And understanding how the tool works while still being able to be an exceptional marketing tool minus the vanity metrics, as we refer to them.
Yeah. So when we say social media diet, we're really talking about, like, getting to the core. Yeah. Right? The core of social media, the purpose of social media. What is the purpose of social media? Stay top of mind. It's also to show people who don't know who you are but find you, go to your social media through your website and see, oh, this person is still active. They're still, their shop is still open, so they're good. It's just another way to stay top of mind. It can be a way to share stuff about your law firm. Maybe you won an award. Maybe you hired somebody new. It's the difference between what's necessary and what's possible. Don't get me wrong. There are law firms that do very well in terms of getting engagement on their content, and more power to them. It's definitely possible.
Oh, yeah.
But the key is it's not necessary. And that's the big thing.
That's not the first step.
I guess it's not the first step.
It can still work without that. I mean,
Your law firm's social media is very necessary. It's not only a great way to stay top of mind, but it's also a great way to, show the human side of your firm, right? Humanize your firm. But the thing is, a lot of lawyers get caught up on how to even navigate through social media. So we've created a free resource called the Social Media Survival Guide. You can download your free copy today. Just check the post description. You've got your social media. Okay, now you know, all right, I don't need a bunch of likes. I don't need a bunch of comments. But here's the thing. A lot of law firms when they're dealing with social media, they run into the problem where they don't have time to make content and consistently put it out.
Nope.
Right.
Is it better spent talking to clients, working on cases, or is it better to make social media posts?
Exactly.
Get out there. You don't have to be an econ major to figure that one out.
So we want to talk about the art of content multiplication.
Ooh.
Now this thing is cool. This is a cool concept. I'm sure you've heard it before, maybe in different terms, or maybe you've just heard the whole concept kind of laid out there for you. But we call it the art of content multiplication.
Yep.
Basically what this does is it saves you time and it saves you creative energy, really. Because, I mean, we're doing the art of content multiplication
all the
right
time.
now. Right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
And this is how it works, right? I'll give the Law Firm Marketing Minute as an example.
All right.
So here's what we're doing. We are recording an entire episode, right? And this could range from like 10 to 15 minutes. It's just us. We've got stuff to talk about, and we're going through and we're talking about it, right? As we're doing it, we're recording it via video and via audio, right? Now, what's going to happen is me being the social media manager, I'm going to take this footage. I'm going to create the entire episode itself to go out on the podcast platforms, but I'm also going to take the video. I'm going to chop up the video. I'm going to get some bits from the video, and I'm going to spread those out throughout the week.
Yep.
So here you go. You've got enough video for your week. Maybe even for, if it's long enough, you could even do it for a month, depending on how many topics that you hit that you can pull out of that. You got your videos for the month. You've got your audio. If you want to start a podcast, it's actually not as hard as a lot of lawyers might believe it. But also, here's something that a lot of people don't think about. You can take the audio and you can transcribe it, and you can turn that into a blog.
Which we do.
Which we do, right? So you've got audio, you got video, and you got a blog, all from sitting down for 15, 30 minutes and recording
on one idea that like people at me, it's like you're posting 300-400 times a month. You don't need 300 or 400 ideas.
Yeah,
you need one idea. I mean, it's like meal prepping. You make the one giant meal on Sunday and you break it up in your little Tupperware containers, and you have food until Friday. I mean, but you're only having to bake that one time and cook that one time. So that's what we're doing here. We're creating one idea and chopping it up and getting the most leverage out of it. And by the way, when he talks about chopping these things up, he's putting them on multiple platforms. So it's not just one hit on these things. I mean, we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So you're getting this multiple times. So when we say top of mind awareness, like you can get a lot of leverage out of one single idea in a minimal amount of time, minimal effective dose.
So, I mean, I definitely encourage a lot of law firms out there, law firm marketing managers. If you're the, true solo, and you're doing it yourself, this is going to save you time. This is going to save you creative energy, because you don't have, like Eddie was just saying, you don't have to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, I got to come up with like 20 different ideas to talk about. Like, no, just come up with whatever you know a lot about, whatever's in your field, and just, break it down.
And we'll do this for our clients. I mean, you don't even have to have the idea. I mean, we'll guide you through the idea.
Yeah.
Well, if you make a podcast, we'll turn that into a blog. We'll turn the blog. We'll post the blog on social media. We'll post it on several different platforms. The blog will be part of your newsletter that goes out. I mean, all of this goes back to your website. These are all individual touch points multiplied over several platforms. It always goes back to, what are you on social media to do?
Yeah.
What is your purpose? What are you trying to achieve here? And like when we meet with our clients, we talk about lead nurturing versus lead gen, and we're telling them, I'm not trying to get people to convert right now on this post. I'm not trying to get people to jump and call your office and book a consultation. They just don't go on social media to be sold like that, especially by a law firm. And again, if they do need an attorney or their friends need an attorney, wha-bam, I mean, you are top of mind and you're there, and you've already done a little bit to establish trust. Mind you, one other thing about this is they'll walk into your office, or the first time they do meet, with a better sense of who you are, what you do, how you work. I mean, so, and again, I mean, when I worked with an attorney toward the end, he was giving me free, we were talking back and forth. I'm not going to charge you on this. And I said, why? He goes, just because you listen to me. He's like, I appreciate that. I appreciate working with you. And it meant a lot to me. especially because I didn't have to pay him. But at the same time, but he's like, I appreciate working with better clients, and almost all attorneys are like that. You want the better clients, the people you trust, the people that will listen to you, that will work with you, and this is what you're almost filtering out with your social media.
Yeah.
You're bringing them in informed and educated before they've even stepped in the door. They have an idea of who you are before you even meet their first consultation. So yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it's working. So when it comes down to it, there's plenty of other strategies we could talk about social media. I'm sure we will in the future, because there's strategies for consistency, there's strategies for different platforms. So what type of content should law firms be posting?
Yep.
Eddie, what type of content do you think that law firms should be posting?
Educational, informative, value-based. I mean, so if we're talking, what is a prospective client going to go to your social media for? They're going to solve a problem. They want a solution. They have an issue. They have an estate plan. They're getting a divorce. I mean, they just got charged with the DUI. What do I do? When do I go? Who do I talk to? I mean, they're looking for guidance, and that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and to do that, the very specific type of content for social media. I mean, right now, video is king. We say it all time and time again. Video is king.
Yep. Video
content on social media gets the most reach.
Yep.
Organic reach, and I mean, photos definitely can help. Photos. We have another episode coming up later this month about humanizing your law firm, and photos can really help in that aspect.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into that later in this month. But yes, video content is king.
And clients will ask me, like, if I am going to make a video, if I'm going to do a point and shoot right myself and post it, what should I be asking? What should I be putting out there? I usually have three answers for that. Number one, what are the calls you're getting over and over again? What is a pain point? What is the same question you're asking over and over again? That's number one. Number two is, if you're at a party and someone finds you're a blank attorney, an estate planning attorney, family law, criminal defense, what questions are they cornering you for and asking you when no one else is around? Hey, I heard you're so-and-so. So-and-so did that. What would you recommend? What kind of questions are you getting when people think they're alone with you and they realize what you do? And number three is the biggest one. If you're you're at Madison Square Garden and you're on center stage and there's a large audience out in front of you, what do you want? And they're all your dream clients. These are your perfect clients. What do you want to tell them? What do you want them to know? Yeah. I mean, so because social media is a megaphone, so you have an opportunity to put that out there. So it's like ask yourself those three questions, and that should give you a base idea of what kind of content you should be creating on video.
So there you have it, social media. That's
you have enough to be dangerous.
That's right. I think that should be enough for the week, for the month, for you to dive into. And as always, I appreciate you guys listening, and we will see you guys next time.